Hi guys, Wendy here from JumbleinkSVG. We hope this video helps. Jer is going to take you through it. Thanks and bye for now.
Hi guys, Jer here from JumbleinkSVG. Thanks Wendy for the introduction. So I'm just going to go through the ice hockey player in Cricut Design Space and just to show you some how to create the lettering, the numbering, different layer numbering, the layering of the design and so on. So we get cracking. So to start, we just start with a new project. So top out right hand corner, new project button up here. Let's click on that. So this gives us our mat ready to put our design into within Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to upload the design. So left hand side over here, hit the upload button. Going to upload the image. So upload image. I'm going to browse to where the image is on my computer or wherever you have it stored. In this case, I have it stored within my ice hockey folder. So here's the file here. So I'm just going to open the SVG file, which has all the layers. So you can see here is all the design in it, all the different layers. So upload that into Design Space and add that to my canvas. So once added to your canvas, you can see on the right hand side here you've got all your layers. So these are all the different parts of the design, all split out into different layers. So the main thing for the design here is to actually get the correct sizing first for your design. So you can highlight or hide and unhide different parts of the layer. So in this case, I'm going to just hide these three items down at the bottom because I want to be able to see what size the actual frame is. So I'm just going to hide those and then I'm going to click on my frame. So it says here that the frame is 6.97. So this is the layer that you will fit into your frame. So in my case, I have an 8-inch frame and the opening at the back of it is just slightly over 8 inches. So I want to actually change this in changing the sizing up here to 8 inches. 8 in the first box, the lock is on. So as soon as I hit return, it'll all change to 8. Now you can see the whole design changed here. And so will these parts over here, even though I've hidden them in the layers, because when you change one part, because all the layers are linked, the whole lot changes with you. So within the design then there are a couple of different items that are there purposely just to help you with the layering and with the sizing. So for example, I'm going to start hiding the various layers here and just show you the one that I'm talking about here, which is mainly the player layer. So on this layer you can see you have a frame which will not be cut out. This is only for sizing. And then you have the player itself. So in this you can actually click on it and ungroup. So you can see where my mouse is up here in the right hand corner. Ungroup that. Now I can take ungroup again. I can take that box, yeah, and I now can hide it. So now I'm left with my player. So this is grouped as well. So these are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 parts, and they are all grouped. So we'll leave those grouped for now. So the next thing we're going to do is set up our design so that we can see the size we want. So the first thing I want is my frame blank. So this frame here is what we call a frame blank. So it's the idea of it is that when you have a frame, sometimes the lip on the front of them is very narrow and you can see the foam strips in behind for the depth, for creating depth in your piece. So if your frame is very narrow, you can put this in front and then your first layer behind that and it'll hide the foam strips quite well. It also helps with when you're setting up your design within Design Space. So the next layer I want in this case is I want the layers that I will be putting the player on. So this is layer number 2. You can see the layers are numbered in the top right hand corner. So that's layer 2. So we'll line those two up like so. And I'm going to need layer 1. So I think this is layer 1. Nope, got the wrong one. Hang on, now we find layer 1. How about that one? That's layer 1. So you can see layer 1, top right hand corner. So I'm going to put those 2 layers in place so I can see them. Now I can take my layers like so, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send them to the back. The reason I'm doing that is that I want to be able to play with this layer. So now I've sent them all the wrong way around. So that's actually the wrong way to do it. So I want layer 2 to go to the back. So take layer 2, send it backwards, and I want layer 1 brought to the front. That's the way I want them now. So they're the layers together. Line them up again. They don't have to be perfect. This is just for purposes of setting up the design. So now I take my player, line him up in the middle. So that's the basic part of the design. Now what we want to do is create our lettering down here for either the team or the person's name, and the numbering here for the shirt. So what we do is go over here to the left hand side, the text box. So click on text. When you see the text box come up here, just write in, we'll start off with the numbering, say 19. You can then click out of that. You can see at any time you can click into it, it'll put these boxes around it. First and foremost, I normally just change the color to represent the color that I'm planning on cutting it out in. So in this case, black. You can in turn change your font here. You can make it regular or bold, whatever you wish to do. And you can change the size. So in this case, I'm going to change the size to 48 because I know that's going to work for this particular design. I'm also going to make it regular because I don't want it bold. But I also want to change it so as that the angle fits the shirt. So you can see if I hover over this, I get an arrow here where I can make it bigger or smaller. And if I keep going out, I get a rotation arrow. So now I can click on that and I can rotate to give me roughly the right rotation for what I need. I can size that up then, put it on my shirt and say, yeah, that looks pretty good, happy with that. Now, next thing I need to do is create the name. So again, text box, write in the name, M-A-T-H-E-W. I'm going to change the color on this to red. And this time I'm going to just bring it over roughly to here so as you can see the sizing. So you can see it's too big. You just hover over the corner, you can see the arrow, and you can then start to shrink it down to the size that you think you need. Also, make sure you bring it to the front. So it's already at the front, that's fine. Now I can bring it in and size it up. No, still a little bit big. Make it a little bit smaller. And put it in, and there you go. Now, you can see here, if I didn't have the frame blank, which is the black one, I wouldn't know exactly where to size and put this. I could end up making it too big, then you wouldn't see it because it would be behind the frame edge, or it could be just too big and not fit the whole space. So it could end up looking like that, but it would be in behind the frame blank. Whereas because I've set up the different layers and I can see where it's going to fit on the layer, I can size it approximately for what I want. So that looks pretty good there. So now to cut this out, obviously I've got various layers there, various layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. So I can put all the layers in there so as you can see the actual design. So layer 3, 4, 5, and 6. So all the layers go in. I'm missing one of them, that one there, and that one there. So these are all the different layers. Now obviously they're not in the right order right now. So that's layer 3. I'm going to send that backwards. Send it backwards again. I'm actually going to send it to the back. So I'm going to do send it to the back. And it's not doing that for me for some reason. Back. row of these and send them all to the back. So that goes backwards like so. And then when I put all these together, you'll see the design is starting to look correct. Like so. I'll put the player back in where he should be. So I'll bring these all to the front. So you can see now your design is pretty much okay. That layer there needs to go backwards. That's not behaving itself at all because the other layer is in front. You don't really need to do this because at the end of the day, you can see the way they're all numbered. They're all numbered purposely to give you, when you're putting it together, that you have the right layer in the right place. So your frame blank goes first, then layer 1, then layer 2, layer 3, layer 4 will be next, 4, and then layer 5, and then layer 6, in that order. And frame blank goes to the front, layer 1 is to the front, next 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there are all your layers, and that's how you align them or pile them on each other inside your frame. So I'm just going to hide the various layers now, because what I want to do is I want to show you how best to cut the various parts of the design. So in this case, I have my player, I have Matthew, I've got 19. So I want to cut, say, all my black parts first. So I'm going to highlight my player. I'm going to go ungroup, which means I can start taking the parts away, but it also means that I can start hiding them. So I now want to cut all the black parts. So I'm going to get rid of all the red ones. So just hide them, including the Matthew. Yeah. I have one other black part I could use, and that's the frame blank. So I want to get rid of the face as well. Don't want that right now. Where's that gone? There it is there. So now I've all the black parts and I want to make those. So I'm cutting this out on black card. You can see, put it onto my mat. I can now maneuver them around to where I want the actual parts to cut on my card. So in this case, I'm doing an 8 by 8, which will fit. I can cut that out of like an A4 or a US letter piece of card. So just put them all at the center and then continue, cut them at the card size, as in weight. So if you're using, say, 210 GSM, it's about 80 pound cardstock. Pick your setting for that, and away you go. So hit continue, and for example, so if I'm doing 80 pound or 210, 216 GSM, I click this setting, medium cardstock. If I'm using a heavier cardstock, I would click the 100 pound, or if I'm using lighter, I click on the 65. So now, just to go back, cancel out of that for now, cancel out of that for now. So now you'd move on and you would cut all the other parts. So in this case, I want to cut all the red parts. So I'm going to start unhiding all the other parts. So now I don't want the face at this time. I want the Matthew. So I can start hiding the black ones. Like so. Like that. And the 19 like so. And the frame like so. So I've got the jersey. I've got 2 gloves. I've got the 2 protective socks and the Matthew. And again, just make it and line them up onto the page where you want to cut them out. And again, continue, pick your card, stock weight, and you cut these out then in red. So once you have everything cut out, at that stage you're into assembling up your player, for example. So to assemble up the player, you're going to need layer 2. So you can see layer 2 here. and I'm going to assemble all the parts onto layer 2. So I want to unhide all the parts because I want to have them all. I have them all cut. So I'm just trying to show you here how you would assemble this up. So you, for example, helmet. When you have the part cut and you have layer 2 cut, you'd use either double-sided tape, or if you have really small foam pads, makes for a great 3D effect as in slightly more depth. And you would literally just stick them in place as follows and build up your image so as that you place all the parts. So basically layer 2 is there for you to stick all these parts onto, because there's no other way of it. You couldn't create a layer with all this on and have it all joined up, because you'd end up cutting it out of the one colored card. Whereas this way, you can change the color of the gloves, you can change the color of the shirt, you can change the color of the hockey stick. You might want to change it to the color of your team colors, or just make something different for somebody who likes a particular color in their hockey gear. As you can see here, the when you're assembling it, you would put this glove on top of the hockey stick, and the hockey stick then on top of this glove. So that glove here gets stuck first, then the hockey stick, and then that glove gets put on afterwards, just to show that it's in behind the hand. So again, just assemble up all the parts, stick them onto your layer, and there you go. I'll just bring that to the front. Like so. And then there you go. That's how it looks. So that's how to layer, how the layering works, the numbering, how to create your name, your number, and how basically to assemble up your design. I hope it helped. If you need any more help, please message us through Etsy, and myself and Wendy will try our best to help you out. And I hope you enjoy your project. Thanks.